Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from second group. On this occasion, we will explain about the characteristic and step in constructing essay test type. Before that, we want to introduce ourselves. I'm Reza Wiranda as a moderator and the second speaker, Dian Pradila as a first speaker, and Dika Izulhaq as the last speaker. For the first material will delivered by Dian Pradila. To Dian, time is yours.
I will explain the first material. It is definition the SI test. There are several definitions of SI test according to experts. First, according to William and Stephen. SI test is a test that requires the student to structure a long-written response up to several paragraphs. And then, according Gilbert Sachs, believe that SI test is a test containing questions requiring the student to respond in writing. And the last, according Robert Lee and David A.F., an essay test presents one or more questions or other tasks that require extended written response from the person being tested. And the next material is filters of essay question. No single answer can be considered throughout and correct. The examined is permitted freedom of response. The answers vary in their degree of equality and correction. And the next is classification of essay types question. Essay questions are divided into two major types, depending upon the amount of freedom given to student to organize his idea and write answer. First is extended response and restricted response. Extended response. In extended response, no restriction is placed on the student as to the point he or she will discuss and the type of organization the student will use. For example, explain the role of nurse in the healthcare team. An extended response of essay types question permits the student to demonstrate the ability to recall factual knowledge, evaluate their factual knowledge, organize their idea, present their idea in a logical and coherent fashion.
Okay, the next material is restricted response. In the restricted response, the student is more limited and restricted, and student will have less code because the student is specifically told context in which his or her answer is to be met. For example, describe is not more than 100 words. The recommendation made by the Health Survey and Development Committee with regard to improvement of health care delivery system in India, and this type of question tend to be more objective, while the extended type question tend to be more subjective. The next material uses of essay test. What are the uses of essay test? They are: first, assist the ability to recall, organize, and integrate ideas. Second, assist the ability to express oneself in writing. Third, assist the student understanding of subject matter. And the last, measure the knowledge of factual information. Essay tests have advantage and disadvantage. So what are advantages in the essay test? There are: first, test the ability to communicate in writing, depth of knowledge and understanding. Second, it is relatively easier to prepare and administer. Third, it emphasizes on the integration and application of thinking and problem-solving skill. And the last, the student can have free communicate his or her ability for independent thinking. And how about disadvantage? There are some factors. First, contaminated by external factors like spelling, good handwriting, colored writing, neatness, grammar, and length of the answer. Second, biased judgment by previous impression. Third, mood of examiners. Fourth, first impression. 5. Improper comparison of answer of different students. And the last, ambiguous wording of question may be misinterpreted, result in guessing and bluffing on the part of the student. The last material will be delivered by Dika Zohar. Time is yours.
O- Okay, thank you, Reza Wiranda. I will continue the presentation. Principle for preparing SI type test. And the first is do not give too many lengthy questions. And the second is the limits of areas and the behavior which you want should be clearly mentioned. And the third is words should be simple, unambiguous, and carefully selected. And the fourth is according to the level of student, difficulty and complexity item has to be selected. And the fifth is avoid pressure. Example, discuss briefly. Construction of SI question. Suggestion for the SI test. Restrict the use of SI question to those learning outcomes that cannot be satisfactorily measured by objective items. And the second is formulate questions that will call for the behavior specific and the learning outcome. Example, compare the following two methods. And the third is state the question clearly and precisely and make clear what information the answer should contain. And the fourth is indicate the approximate time limit for each question. Suggestion for scoring an essay answer. Prepare an outline of the expected answer in advance. The scoring includes the characteristic of answer to be evaluated and the amount of marks to be allotted to each. Preparing a scoring key. Use the scoring method which is more appropriate, point method or the rating method. There are two common methods of scoring SI questions. The first is with the point method, each answer is compared with the ideal answer in the scoring key and a given number of points is assigned according to the adequacy of the answer. And the second is with rating method, each paper is placed in one of a number of piles as the answer is read. These piles represent the degree of quality and determine the mark assigned to each answer. And the third is decide how to handle factors irrelevant to the learning outcome being measured. Several factors influence the evaluation of answer to questions include handwriting, spelling, sentence structure, punctuation, and neatness. We should make an effort to keep such factors from influencing our judgment and make a separate score for writing expression or for the specific factor. And the next is evaluate all the answers to one question before going to the next one. One way to minimize this is to score all answers to the first question. Shuffle the paper, then score all answers to the next question. And the next is evaluate the answer without looking at the student name. And the next is if important decisions are to be based based on the result obtained two or more independent ratings. And the next is bluffing a special scoring problem. It is possible for students to obtain higher score in SI questions than they deserve by the means of clever bluffing. This is usually a combination of writing skill, general knowledge, and use of common tricks like, and the number one is write something for every question, and the number two stressing importance of topic, and the number three is name dropping. The above viewpoint are supported by the viewpoint of Florence Nightingale. Nightingale. And the next is agreeing with the teacher opinion. And the next is write on a related topic and make it fit. And the next is writing in general terms that fits many situations.
Okay, that's all from us. Thank you very much for nice attention. And finally, we say wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.